Hi, my name is Raina. I'm from Omaha Bryan High, and I'm here with Rebecca Bloom from Bloom's Organic. First off, share a little bit about the background of your operation.
I've had this farm for 14 years, so it was purchased in 1999, and I began farming this ground and these greenhouse structures for the last 13 years. This coming summer will be 13 years, and there's 2.5 acres in production and about 9 acres that are not tillable.
What is your philosophy behind your operation?
We like to do a lot of education here, and we do give farm tours. The philosophy is really the organic way. So I like to say we preach the organic gospel here, which just means, very little tillage, very low inputs of any kind of pesticides. We never use herbicides. We do everything by hand as much as possible, and just a very holistic philosophy of both self-preservation and health, and the same for the land.
What perennials, herbs, and vegetables do you grow?
And what don't we grow here? We grow a wide variety of crops. So many different kinds of tomatoes, about 60 to 70 different kinds of tomatoes, peppers, eggplant. Those are things that are sold in pots to the public and that we use also here. And then we grow a wide variety of other crops that are direct sown. So beans, summer squash, we try to grow pumpkins and winter squash. We grow lots of different culinary herbs, including basil, and some of the less familiar herbs like lemon verbena and, let's see, what else is unfamiliar to the public? This year we're trying something called papalo, which is a substitute for cilantro.
How important is the biodiversity in your operation?
Yeah, well, biodiversity is the name of the game for us. We are very involved in growing a wide variety of crops. And we grow a lot of, or we're getting more into, I should say, cultivating prairie crops here and endangered species such as compass plant.
Explain your typical planting routine.
Well, because we're certified organic, we have a map, and it has all our various plots on it, including the greenhouse structures. So every year you have to state what you grew the last year on those plots, and then what you intend to grow this coming season. And so that's how we keep it all organized, the rotation of what crops go where. Of course, we try never to grow tomatoes, potatoes, and eggplant, since they're all solanaceous plants, on the same ground year after year. So those are the 3 big crops that we grow here that really get rotated around quite a lot. And then we do intercropping, which just means that we like to plant our good-smelling herbs in and amongst tomatoes and other crops. It helps keep the deer away, and that's just the way we like to tuck things in where we think they will grow well. Companion planting, we do that.
How do you manage pests and weeds?
Pests and weeds are a problem, and we do very little about them. We can use biological controls for bugs, but we mostly use a spray of water and a squish of the glove. We put on our gloves if we have potato beetles, and we just hunt for the eggs and we squish them, or we squish the adults. We last year had a problem with Japanese beetle, and we used a pheromone lure. So it actually lures the bugs away from your crop. And they die in a kind of a container. So there's no need for any sprays of any kind.
How does the landscape of your property affect your growing?
We are on a south-facing slope, which is very beneficial for what we do here. It works for your drainage. It captures the sun just the same way as a solar panel would. So a solar panel is set up at an angle to the sun, and the same as our land here. A lot of it slopes a little bit and faces due south mainly, but east as well. And we have really great soil here because we're in the Loess Hills, which is a loess loam, and it's a wind-blown, very unusual type of soil, really, that is only in this part of the world and in China. So it's highly permeable and drainable, which is great for vegetable production.
Do you do all the work yourself, or do you hire help?
We have some helpers around here at all times. So what I like to say is it takes a village to run a small organic farm. But I have one production assistant who we'll get a picture of. She's here today, and then others come as needed when we're really busy transplanting and doing some of the work in the greenhouse, or if we're planting out 700 tomato plants or stringing up a trellis, then we ask people to come and help. volunteers mostly.
Do you use any technology or other mechanical equipment in your operation?
We do use a computer just for keeping our records and our invoices straight because we sell to restaurants. We do have a tiller, we have a small tractor. We use hand tools mostly though. We don't like to till the soil very much at all, so these cover crops in the ground here in the greenhouse need to be incorporated with a small tiller, but generally mostly hand tools.
What role does faith play in your operation?
Oh, in years past, that question I think is based. We had a community-supported agriculture project going on here for a couple of synagogues in Omaha, and at this time we're not doing a CSA as a marketing project. But you know, generally, one thing that we do every year is we have a fundraiser for the Jewish Day School in Omaha, so we help. That's sort of a faith-based initiative, I guess you would call it.
What are your typical markets?
We go to one farmer's market a week. Usually we choose the smaller markets. This year we'll be at the Midtown Crossing Market, which is new as of last year. All season, so it's a 20-some week commitment, about 22 weeks. And then we serve 3 restaurants every week. So once our sales begin in April, we sell to them all the way through till November. So we're talking to chefs every week, and they order big quantities, and we basically fill the orders and deal directly with our chefs.
What are your typical markets?
Markets vary in size, and I don't remember what I wrote down for this question, but you know, we prefer to be. We have unusual products that not everybody carries, and lots of varieties. For instance, radishes, we probably grow 10 different varieties. So when we go to market, we like to showcase our oddball stuff, and it really gives you a lot to talk to the public about, because they're always going, well, what is that? You know, and it's fun to have something that nobody else at market has.
How are you involved in the community?
Well, many ways. We do a lot of education for Metro Community College, both the culinary arts and the horticultural program. We give tours for garden clubs. We like it when people come and interview us and share it with schools of any kind. Betsy, my helper, my production assistant, she is very involved with the library in Omaha. They have a seed library there now where you can check out seed. So that's one way that we're really getting to a lot of people, is through the library. We do teach classes, both of us at the library now, for seed saving, and so that's a big push for us.
What is the most challenging thing about your farm?
The work level, the load, you know, I mean, and there's bills to pay, so you have to make, even though we're a very small business and we really don't gross a huge amount of money. Most people wouldn't work this hard for the amount of money we make, but you know, it is hard work, and you're out in the hot sun, and it's very constant. Once it begins, like this greenhouse, for instance, today it's 30-some degrees outside, but it's quite warm in here. And so you have to be here to open up the greenhouses and ventilate, and there's plenty to keep you busy pretty much about 11 months out of the year, because we start in January with tiny baby plants, and then we go all the way through till the crops are harvested and everything is cleaned up and there's a cover crop in the ground. So it's through November, end of November, until the snow flies again, more or less.
Which aspect of your farm are you most passionate about?
Oh, we're passionate about all of it because it's such good work, and we get to do, you know, there's a lot of freedom in what we do here, and it's a beautiful place. So,
how do you see the farming conditions changing in the future?
Well, there's a lot of issues about the future. You know, we're going to try our best to preserve the bees and bugs and all the things that make nature so beautiful and wonderful, and we're working and trying to educate people about sustainable living, you know, and just how do you live simply on the land and not ruin the water with chemicals, or not ruin the air by burning a bunch of plastic trash or whatever it might be. That some people like to do that, and we like to say, not very good for the environment.
How do you define sustainability?
How do I define sustainability? Well, we have a list of things that we like to define as sustainable ways, but you know, it has all to do with the same kinds of things, you know, just living lightly on the land, farming the land in a way that that doesn't pollute, and then of course saving seed is really important because then we develop our own. We don't have to be reliable on a seed company to provide the seed. Of course, in organic, they don't allow you to use anything that's genetically modified or treated with any chemicals. So it's just a clean, I think to define sustainability would just be, you know, preserving what we have now and making it better in the future and not harming the planet.
What things are you doing on your farm that you describe as sustainable?
Just the way we go about it, and we like to think that we're a good, that the size of this farm is a good model for sustainability because you don't have to use a big tractor to farm 2 acres. You know, you need a lot of hands and you need hand tools and you need dedicated helpers, but you don't need to use a lot of fossil fuels, and you don't, you know, we don't really heat this greenhouse just a tiny bit in the spring when we have tomatoes in here. So everything that we can do to you know, think in a conservation-minded way, we do that.
What could you intend to change in your farm to make it more sustainable?
Well, you know, just continue on with what we're doing and really try to reach more people. Education is key. I have a little problem with farmers markets. Sometimes people ask for things that are completely out of season and they don't have an understanding of what we can grow in Nebraska or Iowa. You know, this is not California and we're not in Costa Rica either. So, you know, don't ask me for tomatoes in May, and just to try and get people to understand the local food system more, and that it is really smart to support your local economy. Whether you're buying from the local hardware store or whether you're buying from your local farmer, it makes for a better world for everybody.
Could you go a little bit more detail about your seed operation?
Here I am holding a flat of various things here. We have on the end some hardy hyssop, and, well, I don't see the right tag for this. But it's a mixed flat, so we use these plug trays and we sow seeds into these. It's a sterile mix that we use. And this has both flowers and herbs. It doesn't have any vegetables. A lot of the vegetables are yet to come. We're filming this in early March. And we do have some peppers going and a few kale plants, which I have behind me. Kale and chard and some of the brassicas are growing right now. But this is the way we do seed production. So we minimize the use of our very expensive soilless seed starting mix. And then as we get ready to sell these to the public, these are in the greenhouse now because they're big enough. We just pluck them out of these seed flats and divide them apart. See, there's beautiful roots on there now. And we divide this apart, maybe two per pot, because they're going to get much bigger. So we do sell plants to the public, some in Lincoln at the co-op and some in Omaha at Paradigm Gardens through some fundraisers, and then at market. So we're very well known for our well, seed production of both flowers, herbs, and vegetable starts, and they are certified organic, which is kind of hard to get. And what else was I going to say about that?
What are some of the benefits of starting seeds?
Well, the benefits of starting seeds are that you can start just as many varieties as you can find in the seed catalogs or that you've saved yourself. So the amount of different varieties that we have is far, like if you went to a box store, for instance, you would find big boy tomatoes and, you know, some kind of peppers, and we carry about 60 to 70 different kinds of tomatoes and many different kinds of eggplant, peppers, and then the herbs, about 40 or 50 different herbs. So flowers, it's my last name is Bloom and the business name is Bloom's Organic, so we have to grow some flowers. Plus flowers are really good for beneficial bugs. So we like to feed our bugs and bats and birds and all the things that rely on nectar for food source.